Cerita kan? Sama dia. Sir, oh, sir ni. Ah?
දැන් එනවා පල්ලේ ආපු වෙනවා. හා?
සැමගේ සෞඛ්‍ය ආරක්ෂාව වෙනුවෙන් පිළිපදිමු. ඔබේ දෑත් නිතරම පිරිසිදුව තබා ගන්න. සබන් යොදා තප්පර 20ක්වත් ඔබේ දෑත් සෝදා හරින්න. සපයා ඇති සනීප ආරක්ෂක දියර මගින් දෑත් පිරිසිදුව තබා ගන්න. නිතරම නාසය මුඛය වැසෙනසේ මුඛ ආවරණයක් පළඳින්න. ඉවත් කරන මුඛ ආවරණය නිසි ලෙස කසල බඳුනකට දමන්න. කහින විට හෝ කිවිසුම් යන විට ලේන්සුවකින් හෝ ටිෂු එකකින් ආවරණය කරගන්න. නැතහොත් වැලමිට ඇතුල් පැත්තෙන් නාසය සහ මුඛය ආවරණය කරගන්න. මුඛය, නාසය සහ දෑස් නිතර ඇල්ලීමෙන් වළකින්න. ශරීර උෂ්ණත්වය පරීක්ෂා කරන කාර්ය මණ්ඩලයට ඔබේ සහාය ලබා දෙන්න. COVID-19 වෛරසයට ඔබ නිරාවරණය වී යැයි සැකයක් පවතී නම් මෙම පරිශ්‍රයට ඇතුළු වීමෙන් වළකින්න. එය ඔබේත් රටේත් සෞඛ්‍ය ආරක්ෂාවට හේතු වේ. දැනුවත් වෙමු, පිළිපදිමු. කොරෝනා වලින් තොර සමාජයකට ඔබේ සහාය ලබා දෙන්න.
ආරක්ෂිත නිවේදනය. හදිසි අවස්ථාවකදී අනතුරු හැඟවීමේ නලාව නාද වේ. කරුණාකර එවැනි අවස්ථාවකදී පිටවීමේ සංඥා නිසි ලෙස පිළිපදිමින් අදාළ ස්ථානයෙන් බැහැරවීමට කටයුතු කිරීමටත් පිටක තනබිම්වල කොළ පැහැති සංඥාපෝරු සවිකර ඇති අතර එම ස්ථානවල ස්ථානගත වීමටත් කටයුතු කරන්න.
பாதுகாப்பு அறிவித்தல். எதிர்பாராமல் ஆபத்து ஏற்படுமிடத்து எச்சரிக்கை மணி ஒலிக்கும். அவ்வாறான சந்தர்ப்பத்தில் எவ்வித பதற்றமும் அடையாமல் உடனடியாக அவ்விடத்தை விட்டு வெளியேறுவதற்கான குறியீடுகளை பின்பற்றி வெளியேறி எல்லையிடப்பட்டுள்ள பச்சை நிற புல்வெளியில் அனைவரும் ஒன்றிணையவும்.
Safety announcement. In case of an emergency, the fire alarm will be activated. In such an unlikely event, please leave the venue in an orderly manner. Follow the exit signs and assemble at the assembly points demarcated with green signage on the outside lawns. Thank you.
most respected member of the Mahasangha, graduates, diplomats, parents, well-wishers, audience, good afternoon. This is your day, a remarkable day for you, a significant day for you. And after all that hard work, yes, we have come to your graduation celebration. Well, we can hear the sounds of drums outside, which gives us indication that the ceremonial procession has started moving. Yes, that's what's happening right outside. And very soon, the ceremonial procession will enter the hall, and thereafter, we'll begin proceedings. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated and make yourselves comfortable. Ayubowan. Well, it is customary that we greet each other by saying Ayubowan in Sri Lanka. And the meaning of Ayubowan is wish you long life. Ayubowan. Even though you have your face mask on, I can see when I look into your eyes, we can definitely see satisfaction, happiness, celebration in your eyes. And that's not a surprise, because after all that hard work, particularly you, graduates, diplomats, you have definitely come to a very important event. And this is your day, the graduation ceremony 2022 of the Sri Lanka Telecom Training Center. Now, today's program is in fact happening in two segments. One is the Sri Lanka Telecom Training Center Graduation Ceremony 2022 for the University of Hertfordshire Bachelor of Engineering degree convocation, which is the third convocation, where we're going to see 32 honors graduates and one non-honor exit award, and also the Pearson BTech HND Diploma awarding ceremony. And this is the 13th diploma awarding ceremony, where 34 diplomates will be awarded with the Pearson BTech Level 5 HND in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Well, we are really honored and delighted by the presence of our guest of honor this evening. And that is none other than the Dean of the School of Physics, Engineering and Computer Science of the University of Hertfordshire, Professor Rodney Day. So on behalf of the Group Chairman of SLT Mobitel, Mr. Rohan Fernando, and the entire team of SLT Mobitel and the Sri Lanka Telecom Training Center, we would like to very warmly recognize the presence of our guest of honor, Professor Rodney Day, and his colleagues. Come on, let's put our hands together and say a big thank you, a warm welcome. And saying that, it is customary that we ceremonially light a lamp before we begin any important function in Sri Lanka, and this is no exemption. So we're now going to witness the lighting of a lamp, and today we'll be lighting, in fact, floating candles, inaugurating the graduation ceremony 2022. And to do the honors, we would like to invite the following people forward for the ceremonial lighting of the floating candles. We'd like to start by inviting our guest of honor this afternoon, Professor Rodney Day, Dean, School of Physics, Engineering and Computer Science, University of Hertfordshire, United Kingdom, Mr. Rohan Fernando, the Group Chairman of SLT Mobitel, Mr. Lalit Senaviratna, Group Chief Executive Officer, SLT Mobitel. Mr. Janaka Abesinghe, Chief Executive Officer, Sri Lanka Telecom. We also would like to invite the Associate Professor Felix Zhu, the Associate Dean, Engineering and Technology, School of Physics, Engineering and Computer Science of the University of Hertfordshire, United Kingdom. We also invite Mr. Priyantha Fernandez, the Chief Operating Officer, Mrs. Saman Abesekara, Chief Administration Officer and Chief Operating Officer Designate, Mr. Chandika Vitharana, the Chief Executive Officer, Mobitel Private Limited, Mr. Ajanta Senaviratna, the Chief Executive Officer, Visioncom Private Limited. We also invite Mr. Upul Manchanayaka, Chief Executive Officer, SLT Digital Services Private Limited, Mr. Sanjeeva Samaranayaka, Group Chief Finance Officer, Madam Sonali Vijaykorn, Group Chief Legal Officer, Mr. Nirmal Dharmaratna, Group Chief Security Officer, Mr. Prabhat Dahanayaka, Chief Marketing Officer, Mr. Tilak Gamalat, Chief Information Officer, Mr. Aruna Jayasekara, Chief People Officer and Head of Academic Board of the BTech HND program, Mr. Imanta Vijaykorn, Chief Regional Sales Officer, and also Mr. A. Kirupakaran, Chief Regional Operations Officer, Mr. Lakmal Jayasinghe, Chief Enterprise and Wholesale Officer, Mr. Rohana Ellavala, Deputy Chief Marketing Officer. Also, we invite Mr. Janaka Silva, General Manager, Talent Development and Academic Board Member, BTech HND Program, Mr. Harshana Ranmutugala, Internal Verifier, BTech HND Program and General Manager, Human Resources and Industrial Relations, Mr. KPW Arsiri Indika, Deputy General Manager, Talent Development Center, Mr. Yasit Ganearachi, Internal Verifier, BTech HND Program and Deputy General Manager, Strategic Projects, Mr. Manoj Herat, Program Leader, BTech HND Program, Mr. Samira Bandaranayaka, Program Leader, UH Degree Program, and also we'd like to invite two students, one representing the graduates of Hertfordshire and also one representing the diplomates of BTech program, and also we'd like to invite one of the parents. So we invite Mr. Malraj Valapitia, the former Chief Executive Officer of SLT Digital Services Private Limited. Can we please invite the people we just mentioned to kindly come forward to do the honors in ceremonially. Well, now the head table delegates will take their places at the head table. And to occupy their places at the head table, we would like to invite our guest of honor, Professor Rodney Day, Mr. Rohan Fernando, and also Mr. Lalit Senaviratna, Associate Professor Felix Zhu, Mr. Janak Abesinghe, Mr. MBP Fernandez, Mr. Saman Abesekara, Mr. Aruna Jayasekara, and Mr. Janaka Silva. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you. We will now witness the graduation ceremony 2022 officially declared open. And to officially declare open the graduation ceremony, we would like to very warmly invite the Chief People Officer of Sri Lanka Telecom, Mr. Aruna Jayasekara.
I declare that the graduation ceremony is open.
Thank you, Mr. Jayasekara. Thank you very much. With the official declaration of the graduation ceremony open, we are now going to witness the conferment, firstly, of degrees, and for which we would like to very warmly invite Professor Rodney Day, our guest of honor, Dean of the School of Physics, Engineering and Computer Science, University of Hertfordshire, accompanied by Mr. Janaka Silva, General Manager, Talent Development, Sri Lanka Telecom. Let's put our hands together and welcome our presenter to the presentation area. And to take us through the names of the graduates, we'd like to invite Associate Professor Felix Zhu, Associate Dean, Engineering and Technology, School of Physics, Engineering and Computer Science of the University of Hertfordshire. Sir, we'd like to invite you to the podium.
Bachelor of Engineering, honors in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Atulu Gamagi Kishan Sankalpa Silva. Amara Singh Haga, Malis Asham, Amara Singh Her. With first-class honors, Junun Malagi Navin Tilina Udayaki Fernando. Don Umesh Shalita Wanakula. Dishmi Washa Sandaru Samaranyaki. Hatigi Chaturan Lakshan Pereira. Hatigi Sawan Sasara Abhiyarasana. Kankanamaki Janice Sandaruan. With first-class honors, Lasanda Manupuya Ila Perunma. With first-class honors, Mabatuwana Wisnagi Ravindu Naya Najis. Hayagala Badugi Anusha Chanel Fernando. With first-class honors, Sanchez Lakmal Jayawardena. With first-class honors, Sri Narayana Bamunu Mudiyasalagi Imasha Umayana Gani Bandara. Samayama Sari Rajawardana Patabandigadara Viranga Prasanjis Rajawardana. Samakutagi Sinudu Sheshan Anthony Pereira. With first-class honors, Sherami Victoria Bopirachichi. Tansari was Tangi, Donna, Basmi, and Jana. Wujasanga Arachchigi Onila Rasivka Wijansanga. Wirandoga Vidanalagi Kencha Yasaranga Warangoda. Rajapakasha Sanadikira Hasirane Halagi Nayanika Chanturoy Rajapakasha. With first-class honors, Manushi Chanuka Balapitia. With first-class honors, Maheswaran Sajiwan. Jayawardana Kasota Rala Lagi Rahu Prasad Jayawardana. Samarakun Mudian Selagi Prabudia Ruwan Bandara Samarakun. And Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Muhammad Nayas Ahmed Zaki. Bachelor of Engineering, honors in Electronics and Communication Engineering, Komitigi Akila Ranu Herrera. Karanakodaki Kasun Chandama Chandurati Laka. With first-class honors, Ken Nerong Nalung Dania. With first-class honors, Muhammad Shajir Kamaldin. Subhasingha Mudiyaneslagi Kalana Perayana Pyakara Subhan Singha. Wanakula Surya Andrew Shehan Fernando. In absentia, Edri Syria Mudaligi Yusuf Thomas Siriwardana and Kirupakaran Lydian Lavan Abshanas.
Thank you, Professor Felix. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And a big thank you to our presenter, our guest of honor, Professor Rodney Day, and also Mr. Janaka Silva. Thank you very much. Dear graduates, you have now passed out or graduated from the University of Hertfordshire. Congratulations. Come on, give yourselves a big round of applause and let's applaud all the graduates. And from now on, you belong to that huge global alumni of huge global family of the University of Hertfordshire. And yes, you have had the opportunity and the luxury of following your degree program and also being able to graduate from your home country. And that's thanks to the facilitation done by the Sri Lanka Telecom Training Center. With that, we are moving on to an address, and for which we would like to very warmly invite the Chief Executive Officer of Sri Lanka Telecom, Mr. Janaka Abesinghe. Let's welcome Mr. Janaka Abesinghe for his address.
Good afternoon to all of you. Garutra Swamin Vansingh Avsarai. Our guest of honor, Professor Rodney Day, Associate Professor Mr. Felix Su, Mr. Rohan Fernando, Chairman SLT Mobitel, Mr. Lalit Seniratna, Group Chief Executive Officer SLT Mobitel, all Chief Officers of SLT, and all SLT Training Center staff and members of the SLT family, and dear graduates and proud parents. So first of all, let me take this opportunity to congratulate all those who are graduating today, the graduates and the diplomates. And I think it's a great achievement and a very important milestone in your life. And I'm honored to be with you today at this graduation ceremony. So after you get these degrees and diplomas, I think you are eligible to be an engineering profession in the job market. And also with these qualifications, I think if you wish to, you will be able to go for your higher studies, especially in the Commonwealth countries, the countries like the UK and Australia. So if you look at the last 2 years, I think we had an unfortunate situation. The worldwide, we had that issue with the COVID-19 pandemic situation. Due to that, most of the offices were closed, the countries were locked down, and also the educational institutions were closed down. And we had a difficult time in conducting our office work and academic work. But yet, I think with online education, we managed to continue this program, and today we see the results. You all have graduated. So I think that is mainly due to your hard work during these testing times. I think mainly due to your hard work, you managed to complete this program very successfully. And also the dedication and commitment I will not forget from the SLT training staff as well as the University of Hertfordshire academic staff. So SLT, actually we are investing heavily in our training center to upskill our staff, the trainers, and also the facilities. So we have actually a very well-trained staff and very good facilities, and supported by the University of Hertfordshire academic staff, we are conducting these degree programs and the diploma programs. So if I may ask you why you wanted to study engineering, so there's a good chance that you will say it's because you like maths and science, you like problem solving, and because you consider engineering to be a good career, and maybe because you think you have skills to become an engineer. But however, I think it's good if you have a clear idea of what a career in engineering will actually involve. So the fresh graduates, most often we have seen there's a misconception about a career in engineering. Actually, what do engineers do? So they create solutions to real world problems. So how to create a solution to a problem? First, you have to identify the problem, or you have to identify the need, and then you have to use your knowledge, then the skills and technology to create that solution. And that solution has to be cost effective, it has to be efficient, and it has to be sustainable. So when you look at the engineering profession like that, the engineering involves imagination and innovation. So each problem you encounter will be unique, so you have to think differently. And it's all about the innovation, and you need to use your knowledge and imagination and use appropriate technology to innovate. So when you practice as an engineer, you will also have to use your own judgment, and you have to make your own decisions rather than just doing what you are told to do. So you will soon realize the importance of having other skills like the communication and negotiation skills, the report writing skills, and so on. So you'll realize that there's an amount of responsibility that you are likely to have, and it's important to understand that engineers don't just work with machines, the designs, or the circuit boards. Because here we have all the electrical, electronics, and computer engineers. I wanted to mention that. So your role as an engineer has to be understood in the context of your work within a company and ultimately within the society. As an engineer, you may become a manager, and one day you will be supervising a team of engineers. So there you will be involved in negotiations, and you may have special responsibilities to ensure that work is safe, or to ensure that your work is not damaging the environment. So you may be required to make financial decisions and ethical judgments. So all these, actually, these skills you have to develop in time to come once you graduate and once you get into the job market. So one other thing I think that what is important is to acquire professional qualifications and industry certifications, because to become a professional engineer you need the professional qualifications. So this is the degree or diploma is academic qualification, but with experience, in job experience, you will get the professional qualifications. So finally, I will take this opportunity to thank our training center staff for the continued commitment to achieve excellence, and your hard work and leadership had played a large part in the success of this program over the years. And for all the new graduates and the diplomates, I'm sure your accomplishments will continue to grow over the years. And I wish you all the success for your promising career. Thank you very much.
Sri Lanka Telecom, truly a pride of Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka's premier integrated telecommunication services provider. And we say thank you to its Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Janaka Abesinghe. And I'm sure those pieces of advice will be extremely valuable to you in your career path ahead. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to another important item in the agenda, which is the announcement and the awarding for the best student of the Bachelor of Engineering Honors, Electronics and Communication Engineering. And to do the honors by presenting the award, we'd like to invite this time to the presentation area the Chief Executive Officer, Sri Lanka Telecom's Janaka Abesinghe, accompanied by Mr. Saman Abesekara, Chief Administration Officer and Chief Operating Officer Designate for Sri Lanka Telecom. Gentlemen, welcome to the presentation area. Let's put our hands together and get ready for the announcement for the best student of Bachelor of Engineering Honors, Electronics and Communication Engineering. Well, here's a little bit of detail about the recipient. First class honors, Bachelor of Engineering degree, and his overall grade point average is 4.07. And the best student, Bachelor of Engineering Honors, Electronics and Communication Engineering, the award goes to goes to Ken Neron Nelundenia. Congratulations. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, you can get much bigger and better than that in your applause. Well-deserved round of applause. Best student for the Bachelor of Engineering Honors, Electronics and Communication Engineering. Now you need to have your applause the loudest. Come on, keep the applause going louder for Ken Neron Nelundenia. Congratulations. And with that, we say thank you to Mr. Abesinghe and Mr. Abesekara. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. We now take this opportunity in inviting the Group Chief Executive Officer of SLT Mobitel Group, Mr. Lalith Senviratne, to address you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Professor Rodney Day, Dean, and our Chairman, Mr. Juan Fernando, Associate Dean and Associate Professor Felix Zhu, and all the SLT team, as well as the training center staff. So I think today you are all graduating as techies, right? Either engineers or diplomates, but if you look at the world today, the tech companies rule the world, right? So we have our own techies, like, another electrical engineer, Chamat Palihapitiya, who is one of the founders of Facebook, a billionaire investor in the US. So that's a success story. But not just that alone. If you look at the United States, if you look at Silicon Valley, I was reading a report on the fact that although the Silicon Valley workforce, only 6% are from India. Some of the best tech companies the CEOs are engineers who are from India. IBM, Microsoft, Google, Twitter, you name it, Oracle, Palo Alto, all are Indian engineers. So for you, the world is really open. And I think the reason why, I was reading a report, why the Indian engineers do so well, it's the environment. Now, we in Sri Lanka have a similar environment because growing up is a challenge here because, for example, your parents toiled, saved money to send you to a top class university because while you are in this environment, you got the opportunity of studying in a program with one of the top engineering universities in the UK. Yesterday I heard that University of Hertfordshire, the electronics engineering program is rated 10th best in the UK. So that's a great opportunity. You will live in an environment where a lot of challenges are there, and you are natural managers because you face the difficulties. And in that report, I read one reason why the Indians do so well in the tech companies, engineers do well, is from the birth certificate to the death certificate, it's a challenge in India. Maybe it's not as bad here. I mean, wrong word I'm using, not bad, but it makes you natural managers. So I think go out, be thankful to your parents, most of who are present today, because they thought of you, they saved money. Unlike, yesterday I was talking to Professor Day in the UK, either you get a loan or you can work as an apprenticeship and save money to pay for your education. But here, you have paid for your own education. So you have the talent, you grew up in an environment where you can succeed. So I wish, you take up the opportunity, think of the talents you have and go up, and the sky is the limit. And when I talk of the sky, I heard a story a couple of months ago. It's not verified, it may be true, it may be not true, but it's interesting because you all heard of Jack Ma, right? Alibaba founder, one of the largest companies in the world, and very successful. And you also may have heard that suddenly he disappeared. Now, we may agree or we may not agree with the system in China, but we can't disagree that in one generation, the Chinese have come from abject poverty to be one of the most successful technological nations in the world. So we have to respect that. And what I heard, this story, again, I'm not politically biased to any system, whether it's autocracy or democracy, but I heard that when Jack Ma was going and thinking that, he's even bigger than China, one day President Xi Jinping, called him and wanted a private meeting, and he just had a very brief chat, and he just took him out to his garden and pointed to the sky and said, Jack Ma, now it's time for you to look at the sky. What he really meant was, don't do the same business you are doing now. Think of all the new opportunities. What he meant was, he was going into the microcredit financing, and many Chinese were falling into debt, as well as he was going to launch what would have been the world's largest IPO. And President Xi Jinping, for whatever reasons, because maybe he has the wisdom, what he advised, don't do that, and don't get so much foreign capital into our country. Think of what else you can do yourself in China. And of course, I don't think Jack Ma listened to President Xi Jinping, and he disappeared for a while. So what I say is, sky is the limit, because there are so many new things you can think of, and take courage from all the people from Sri Lanka, from India, who have gone out to the world and started, and now head some of the best tech companies in the world. So as I said, you have that inborn natural talent. So take it up, go, and sky is the limit. So I wish you all the best. And of course, we have to thank the staff of Sri Lanka Telecom Mobitel, and especially everybody, all the teachers, lecturers of the training center. Soon we are going to rename the training center to be a much larger institution, and yesterday Chairman and I had very interesting discussions with the two professors, and we will take the training center to greater heights. So we really appreciate all the effort made by the lecturers and of course the staff and the academic of the University of Hertfordshire. So thank you, wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for all those positive vibes and also those words of encouragement given particularly to our graduates. Thank you, sir. Mr. Lalit Senaviratna, Group Chief Executive Officer, SLT Mobitel. Well, a little while ago, we had the Best Student Award for Electronics and Communication Engineering, which was won by Ken Neron Nelundenia. And now we're going to focus on another Best Student in Bachelor of Engineering Honors, this time for Electrical and Electronic Engineering. And to present the award, we would like to invite Mrs. Lalit Senaviratna, Group Chief Executive Officer of SLT Mobitel, accompanied by Mr. Aruna Jayasekara, Chief People Officer, Sri Lanka Telecom. Let's welcome them to the presentation area. Now, before we announce the name, here is a little clue to the recipient. First class honors recipient for Bachelor of Engineering degree with an overall grade point average of 3.58. And he wins the Best Student, Bachelor of Engineering Honors, Electrical and Electronic Engineering. And the award goes to... Yes, it goes to Lasanda Manupia Ilaperuma. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. You need to bring on the best. Congratulations. And with that, we say thank you to Ms. Lalit Senaviratna. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And to Ms. Jayasekara. Thank you. We have now come to the commencement of the conferment of the diplomas, and as a presenter of the certificates, we'd like to invite Mr. Juan Fernando, the Group Chairman of SLT Mobitel. He'll be accompanied in the presentation area by Mr. Janaka Silva, General Manager, Talent Development, Sri Lanka Telecom. Let's put our heads together and welcome them to the presentation area. This is for the Pearson BTech HND Diploma Awarding Ceremony. And to take us through the diplomates' names, we'll be inviting to the podium Mr. KPW Arsiri Indika, the Deputy General Manager, Talent Development Center, Sri Lanka Telecom.
Pearson BTech HND Diploma in Electrical and Electronic Engineering RQF. Kuruppu Appu Hamilage Danushka Sudaraka Akalanka. Matara Arachige Malsha Anjali. අත්තනායක මුකවේටි සහබන්දු මුදියන්සේලාගේ ප්‍රනීත් නිර්මිත අත්තනායක සල්ගස්පිටිය රාලලාගේ සඳුන් චාමික බණ්ඩාර. ගාල්ලේ පතිරණගේ දසිත් දිල්මි. හේරත් මුදියාන්සේලාගේ දේදුණු රුක්මාල් දිසානායක. රාගල මුහන්දිරම්ලාගේ නවංජනා හේෂානි. හිරියමුල්ල විතානගේ නලින්ද චමක්ක කරුණාරත්න. රන්කොත් දෙල්තලාවේ ගෙදර ආමාෂ් ප්‍රියමාල් කුමාරනායක. නවසිය මුදියාන්සේලාගේ මිහිජය කුමාරසිරි. අවුපේ ලියනගේ සදීප නයන්ත ලියනගේ. උමේෂ් මදුෂාන් කැබැල්හිටියාව. සඳුනි නුවන්තරා නානායක්කාර. ඉමිය පතිරැන්නහැලාගේ මදුෂා කාවින්දි පතිරණ. උඩුනුවර උරලෑදෙහි කෝරළගේ ධනුෂ්ක මදුරංග පෙරේරා. චරිත් කුබුදිත රාජපක්ෂ. රණසිංහ ආරච්චිගේ තරුෂ මදුරංග රණසිංහ. පතිරණගේ දුනූෂි ශාලිකා රණසිංහ. රන්කොත්ගේ අසරන්දි ආදිත්‍යා රත්නායක. Mansoor Yehan Shirosh. කාර්යපෙරුම ආරච්චිගේ දොන් කණ්ඩුල කාවින්දි මුදලි සිරිවර්ධන. රවින්දු තීක්ෂණ ඉඹුලගොඩ. තෙන්නකෝන් මුදියන්සේලාගේ රවින්දු හිරුෂාන් තෙන්නකෝන්. ගොතටුවේ ගෙදර දමෙත් ප්‍රභාෂර තිලකරත්න. වීරසිංහ කුඩා සමන්දගේ අමිල සඳරුවන් වීරසිංහ. වික්‍රමසිංහ ආරච්චිගේ සපුමල් විස්මිත ලංකා වික්‍රමසිංහ. විජේසිංහ මුදියන්සේලාගේ ලහිරු සුදාරක විජේසිංහ. මද්දුම පටබැඳිගේ ශාමික ලක්ෂාන්. අදම්බවා අහමද් අල්ෆාන් අෆ්රි. දේවපුරගේ තිලාන් ශශික ෆර්නෑන්ඩෝ. शरबदीन मिल्हान अहमद. In absentia, Madappuli Arachige Hushan Hasinta Fernando. Mohammad Salim Mohammad Fasaran. Herat Mudiyanselage Shakti Srilal Ritigala.
Thank you, Mr. Asiri. Thank you very much. We say a big thank you to Chairman, sir. Thank you very much. And also Mr. Janaka Silva. And dear diplomats, you have earned a well-recognized qualification, the Pearson BTech Level 5 HND in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Let's congratulate all the diplomats. Congratulations. And that's not the end of the story, because we have a gold medal. We have a gold medal for the best academic performance at the BTech HND program. And to present the gold medal, we'll be inviting now to the presentation area the Chief Operating Officer, Sri Lanka Telecom, Mr. M.B.P. Fernandez, accompanied by Mr. Janaka Silva, General Manager, Talent Development, Sri Lanka Telecom. Let's put our hands together and welcome them to the presentation area and get ready for the presentation of the gold medal. Who is it going to be? Well, just to give you a clue about the gold medalist. Best Academic Performance Award gold medalist with 8 distinctions and 3 merits out of 15 modules. Remarkable performance there. And ladies and gentlemen, the gold medal for the Best Academic Performance BTech HND program, the gold medal goes to Muhandiram Lage Navanjana Heshani. Let's put our hands together louder. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, your applause has to be golden. A big round of applause for Navanjana Heshani. With that, we say thank you to Mr. Fernandez, thank you, Mr. Silva, thank you very much, gentlemen, thank you. Well, it is a very well-known fact that Sri Lanka Telecom, or the SLT Mobitel Group, Sri Lanka Telecom as Sri Lanka's premier integrated telecommunication services provider, has been definitely a pride for Sri Lanka, and not only in terms of telecommunication, but reaching out with its training arm, the SLT Training Center, in providing high-quality higher education for people like you. You are one such example of many examples that we can give over the years. Well, saying that, we are now going to very warmly invite the SLT Mobitel Group Chairman, Mr. Rohan Fernando, to address the gathering. Let's put our hands together and welcome Mr. Rohan Fernando for his address.
A very good evening to everybody. Garutra Swamin Wahansege'n අවසරයි. Members of the table, especially Dr. Professor Rodney Day and Associate Professor Felix Zhu, who have come all the way from England, from the University of Hertfordshire, to be with us. I think firstly my gratitude and thanks to them for being here. Then of course our CEO, Mr. Lalit Saraviratna, CEO Mr. Janaka Abhisingha, sorry for my confusion. Then we have Mr. Priyantha Fernandez, our Chief Operating Officer. Then Aruna Jayasekara, Chief People's Officer. And of course, Janak Silva, who is heading the training center at SLT in Barisara. And of course, the ladies and gentlemen, and the proud awardees of the degree and diplomas today. When I see you people, young people in the audience, I have two feelings. One is a little hurt about myself and a lot of pride about you. The time when we were in school in the 1970s, learning was a tough task. There are a lot of disturbances in the universities. I think a degree program took nearly 7 years to complete. There's so much disruption, and most of us were not encouraged to go to the universities, but to look for job opportunities. And that was the time in the 70s. A lot of you don't know, some of your parents will tell you what happened in the universities. That was the time the revolutionaries got into the universities and disrupted most of our learning skills. Nevertheless, learning is an art. The art of learning never stops. From the day you step foot on earth, you start learning. And what you have done today, you have gone through the process of structured learning to develop certain skills. And that's why you are here, getting the degrees and of course the diplomas. And I congratulate you first for what you have done and what you have achieved. And Going forward, what are your prospects? Sky is the limit, as my CEO just mentioned, and he also mentioned about Chamat. And of course, there are two other people I'd like to add to that. We have not forgotten Arthur C. Clarke, Sir Arthur C. Clarke, who lived in our own land and made all the predictions about the future. And some of his predictions have come true, and we are enjoying that. Then, of course, Professor Sarath Gunapala, whom I know very well, and whenever I go to the United States, I meet him. He's working in the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory. He's a proud Sri Lankan from Ananda College. So these are the people who have come up from this tiny island, gone out and achieved success. So if they could do at that time, I can't understand why you cannot do now, because opportunities are aplenty. The learning is freely available. You can learn from a school, you can learn from home, you can learn from the cloud. So that's what I am doing now. What I have lost during my school time, I am learning. And coming to SLT was a brand new experience. I have to learn to talk to the engineers, 600 engineers in our company. And if I don't know my subject, of course, they will not respect me. So I have to learn. So every day is a learning curve for me. And I'm so proud I get the fullest cooperation from our team to understand the business, understand technology, and develop this company and take it to the next level. At SLT, we are not a telephone company or merely a business entity. We have a national duty. We are the national provider of technology to this country, very much grounded to Mother Sri Lanka and looking after the interest and the future of her in the digital landscape. And that is exactly what the present President's vision to make Sri Lanka a digitalized nation. And I think we are very much on the way in achieving that. Looking at our Velisara Training Center, it is just one item of our contribution and our commitment to develop IT. You would be proud to know there are 5 tech parks coming up in Sri Lanka. One in Galle, then Digana, Digana, Nuwara, Hambantota, and I think one in the northeast. And these tech parks will have provision for global tech giants to come, work, stay, and then go at their convenience. So the one that is coming up already, which has been started, is Galle. And I think already Microsoft and Amazon have made their desire to come to Sri Lanka and do this technology development. Why Sri Lanka? Sri Lanka is one of the safest countries in the world. We finished our skirmishes with our own people way back in 2009, and since then nobody talks about it. We have never had a single death due to terrorism. Of course, the 2019 we had a very unfortunate incident. That was unfortunate, and we have no grudges against anybody on that. I think that was a lapse, and we had an oversight, and we were too complacent that we had peace. But today, we have cleared all those, and we have peace in this country, and it's one of the safest countries to come and work. And health-wise, we have actually conquered COVID to a great extent compared to the rest of the world. And I can see people moving around and living happily and treating COVID as a common flu. Of course, we have our own indigenous medicines and compounds to keep a flu away. So I think that has helped us even in overcoming COVID. Going forward, SLT will improve the facilities at Velisara. I think we discussed yesterday, as quite correctly mentioned by the CEO, with Professor Day and Associate Professor Zhu, how we could make it more acceptable to the global tech market by improving the facilities and expanding the scope. It is our target by the year 2023 to have not 30, 40, 60, to have hundreds of tech-savvy graduates and diplomates coming out of our facilities. For that, we are committed to invest, we are committed to put our resources behind that, and then link ourselves to the global marketplace. Already talks are on with US, with China, and some of the other Asian countries to find opportunities for our young people who will come out as highly skilled technicians and engineers. So this is the scope and this is the opportunities we have. As you know, the world is ruled today by two segments, that is the pharma companies and the tech companies. Pharma companies are also tech companies. So SLT is in the epicenter of this technological revolution. And we are the best company to do what we are doing and what we can do more for Sri Lanka. I heard my CEO saying the sky is the limit. Yes, I would say sky is not the limit. In my jargon, in my own word, if you want to do better, aim for the moon. Because if you miss, at least you will be among the stars. So thank you very much, and I congratulate all of you for what we have achieved today. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. The Group Chairman of SLT Mobitel, Mr. Rohan Fernando. Thank you very much for those words of advice and also for those words of encouragement. With that address by the Group Chairman, we will now witness the signing of the register, the customary signing of the convocation register, which will be followed by the conferment announcement. And for that, we would like to invite the Chief People Officer, Sri Lanka Telecom, Mr. Aruna Jayasekara.
According to the authorities vested on me, I declare the diploma conferred on those candidates whose names have been read out by Deputy General Manager, Talent Development Centers. I sign it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Jayasekara. Thank you very much. With that, we have come now to the most one of the most looked forward to items in the agenda, which is the keynote. Now, before we invite the keynote speaker, a very brief and also very interesting details about this remarkable personality. Well, he's the Dean of the School of Physics, Engineering, and Computer Science of the University of Hertfordshire, United Kingdom. Well, prior to that, he was the Dean of the School of Engineering and Technology, Associate Dean, Research and Commercial, and Associate Head of School, Operations and Planning of the School of Engineering and Technology of the University. Since 1993, he has been involved with a series of large Research Council-funded R&D projects associated with river engineering, sediment transport, and also performance of hydraulic structures, as well as teaching fluid mechanics, hydraulics, and river engineering and project management. He also has undertaken a variety of consultancy projects for engineering organizations. He has chaired the university's Research and Development Working Group, responsible for implementing the Research and Development Framework, was coordinator for the Vitae East of England Hub for 10 years, and also chaired the National Vitae Careers in Academia and Advancing in Academia events, and tutored on national and local grad schools. He is currently working on a variety of cross-university projects. He has had considerable experience of international teaching and research at the NTU in 1996, in 2011 and 2012 in China at the Taiwan University of Technology, and in 2014 and 2015 delivering project management short courses in Poland as well. He has also acted as an external examiner and panel member for academic quality activities. A chartered engineer, fellow of the Institution of Engineering and Technology, a fellow of the Institution of Civil Engineers, a fellow of Higher Education Academy, a member of the IET Fellowship Panel, and is a current director of the UH Ventures Limited. Further, he is a Prince 2 registered practitioner and holds an MBA and also a PhD. In 2021, being appointed Professor in Engineering at the University of Hertfordshire. Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon and evening, he is our guest of honor. Let's put our hands together and welcome for the keynote Professor Rodney Day.
Well, thank you very much for that introduction. It's an absolute delight to be here today with you on this very special occasion, and to share this with your families and your friends. I would like to pass on my sincere thanks to Mr. Fernando, SLT Group Chairman, Mr. Seri Varatna, Group Chief Executive Officer, and Mr. Abhisingha, Chief Executive Officer, and all the other members of the SLT senior management team that are here and that have helped organise this wonderful event. After some difficult times globally, I'm delighted, really absolutely delighted to be back here, I think on my 12th occasion back to Sri Lanka, and to share this special moment with you, celebrating all that you've achieved and looking ahead to the bright futures for all of you. We've had 2 years of sometimes dizzying change and uncertainty in the world, and certainly if you keep in touch with the news, there has been obviously worrying, but also some really quite inspiring developments over that period. But over those years, you out there, diplomats and graduates, have demonstrated your capacity for real positive achievement and accomplishment, as well as hope for the future. And I hope that you will step forward now into the world as graduates and as diplomats and make a positive contribution to society. More than ever, the courage, passion and technical skills that you as new engineering and graduates and diplomats is needed to support our economies and our communities. But it's your achievements here as Sri Lanka Telecom graduates of the University of Hertfordshire and Pearson diplomats that we're celebrating today. The University of Hertfordshire is immensely proud of our heritage in providing highly skilled graduates for business, industry and public service. Our vision is to transform lives. This means wherever you're from, whatever your background, we will help your potential. We'll drive your potential, powering our students to success. I'm convinced that you will go on to successful careers, and this is a testament to the outstanding work that you've done over the last several years. Your ingenuity, professionalism, enterprise, and advanced technical skills should help you look forward with excitement to the future. Your achievements are also recognition of the outstanding teaching that you have received from the staff here at Sri Lanka Telecom Training Centre. I hope that the University and Pearson and SLT have helped you navigate through whatever challenges you faced during your time of study. I'm sure you'll remember your time here at SLT, and you should value that experience throughout the whole of your life. You will also have made fantastic and enduring friendships, and I do hope that you will maintain those in the years to come. As you move to the next stages of your lives, I hope that those graduating today feel part of the wider University of Hertfordshire alumni community. There are now around 290,000 Hertfordshire alumni, so you're sure to find one almost wherever you go. Please do make the most of your alumni network and the support that's available. We encourage you to stay in touch with us, with each other, and with our future student communities, so that together we can celebrate your achievements and inspire the next generations. As the leaders, managers, and business owners of tomorrow, you too can be a real inspiration to future students and graduates, encouraging others to follow in your footsteps. And who knows, you may even employ some of them someday. I also know that you will want to recognise the people, many of whom are proudly here today to see this moment, who have supported you, your teachers, your friends, and of course your families. Without their help, support and encouragement, you would have found the last months and years much more difficult to be successful in. So I invite all of you graduating today to turn around and thank your friends, families, teachers, and those that supported you by giving them a round of applause. Well done. Now, as we celebrate your success, I'd just like to remind you of what employers and industry tell us they want from graduates and diplomats. Alongside the technical skills and knowledge that you have learnt on your specific courses, they consistently mention three things. Firstly, they would like you to work hard, to go the extra mile to deliver what is necessary. Secondly, they want you to have the ability to solve problems. We've already heard that from one of the speakers earlier. It doesn't matter what subject you've studied, they still say that problem solving is a skill that they are looking for. And finally, they tell us that they want you to work well with others, for you to have interpersonal skills. The types of problems that we as engineers tackle are far too complex for individuals to do them alone. It is a team effort, and it requires a great variety of people from different backgrounds and different specialisms to come together to both understand the problem and then to develop cost-effective solutions, often at the cutting edge of science, technology, and engineering. And we have to do that in teams. So being able to demonstrate that you can work effectively in teams is crucially important. I know that these are attributes that you've developed at your time at Sri Lanka Telecom Training Centre over the last several years. And I have no doubt that if you apply your skills, work hard, solve problems, and collaborate with others, you can change the world, and you will be successful. I'd like to thank all the staff at Sri Lanka Telecom and the Training Centre who have provided a rich and exciting learning experience that you will benefit from throughout your lives. I'm sure that many of you have built up strong relationships and links with many of the staff, and that you will turn to them again in the future. Finally, I want to encourage you to go out and be brilliant, to take advantage of your technical skills, your qualifications, your passion, creativity, and enterprising mindset, as well as your community spirit, and make a positive contribution to industry and wider society. Seek out new challenges and new opportunities to apply your technical skills to solve problems, and try to make the world a better place. Many congratulations on working so hard to achieve your qualifications. I trust you will feel a well-deserved sense of accomplishment. Thank you, and I wish you every success for the future.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Your physical presence here has brought us great honor. We say a big thank you to our guest of honor, Professor Rodney Day. Let's say thank you once again, Dean of the School of Physics, Engineering and Computer Science of the University of Hertfordshire. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We have now come to the final item in the program, and that is the official adjournment of the ceremony, and that will be done by Mr. Aruna Jayasekara, Chief People Officer, Sri Lanka Telecom.
Now I declare that the graduation ceremony is closed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And finally, we request you, ladies and gentlemen, to kindly rise from your seats for our national anthem. We request the audience to kindly remain standing as we will now witness the departure of the ceremonial procession. Until the departure is complete, we request the audience to please remain standing.